across board. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Citizen FM 93.7 and you're listening to Midday with Mena. Today's discussion is going to be centered around the effects of the fuel subsidy removal, how people are feeling it across board. If you were here yesterday, we spoke to Special Marshal Tom Idong-Esit, who shed a lot of light on the inner workings of how the fuel subsidy payment scheme was going on. And he also gave a lot of he gave us hope, because from what he said, there are various solutions to mitigate the harsh effect of the fuel subsidy removal. And one of the things he said, or he really put his weight behind, is that our Warri refinery, our Kaduna refinery, and the Port Harcourt refinery should begin to work at optimal capacity. And when you combine these three refineries together, they produce more than 70 million liters they will be able to refine over 17 million liters of petrol. And as it stands, statistics tells us that Nigeria consumes about 60-something million liters of petrol. So if our refineries plus the Dangote refinery begins to work at optimal capacity, we should be seeing some calming effects from the fuel hike. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is Midday with Mena, and we are discussing the effects of the removal of fuel subsidy across board. And yesterday the phone lines were not open, but today I am opening the phone line so that you can call in and contribute. The numbers to call are 0818 22 22 205. 0818 22 22 205. Please call us and tell us what you think and how this is affecting you, and the things that you are doing, to help cushion the effects of our new harsh realities, which has resulted in the removal of fuel subsidy and also a price hike in petrol. All right, I caught up with the principal of Mefil Montessori School, and they do employ a lot of staff there. And also, schools have school bus payments, school bus services, and there are also school fees to contend with, and teachers' salaries as well to contend with. So I spoke to the principal of Mefil Montessori School, and she had quite a few things to say about the effect of the fuel subsidy removal on her organization. So let's listen.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patience Uchenna Obianyo. I'm the principal of Mefil Montessori International School. Now the question goes, as the principal of an educational institution and an employer of labor, how have your staff been able to cope amidst the fuel price hike that has happened as a result of the subsidy removal? The recent subsidy removal, as announced by Mr. President, has a very good effect on the entire populace, most especially the private sector. As for me, the principal of a school of an employer of labor, it is definitely going to be a difficult task to employ or engage any new staff with the present salary structure in place, considering that parents have paid school fees and there is presently no plan to increase school fees till the end of the term. How has the fuel hike affected daily operations at your organization? It has affected daily operation because staff have to trek some certain distance in the morning before they get a vehicle at reduced transport fare. This makes them to come late most times, thereby missing the first lesson. Is your establishment considering an increase in fees and bus fare? Yes, we don't have any option than to increase bus fare and school fees to be able to add a little increase in the staff salary to take care of the transport. Will there be a possibility of increased pay? Yes, there will be, considering the effects of transport hike in transport fare. So far, what are something you have been able to put in place that has helped with managing your staff and establishment this period, so that others can learn one or two things? So far, based on the nature of our work as school proprietors, we don't have anything in place now because we can't run online teaching for primaries and early years, and we can't schedule teachers because they run physical lessons on daily basis. And finally, what is my advice to managers out there who are tasked with the responsibility of managing staff members? My advice for the school is to begin to think of how to schedule teachers in such a way they don't come every day, rather have a timetable where they would come and teach their subject based on the day they have their subject. Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
All right, that was the voice of Mrs. Uche, Patience, who is the principal of Mayfield Montessori School, telling us how the fuel subsidy removal has affected the staff and the organization in general. But she also says that, this is a welcome development for everybody, all right, regardless of the effect that it's having. On the program today, I actually have with me two lovely guests. I have Uche Dobry of No Tag Fashion, and I have our very own in-house Deborah Innocent. Welcome to the show, guys. It's lovely to have you all here.
Thank you.
Uche, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning. How are you doing today?
We thank God for doing okay.
All right. It seems like some people have calmed, things have calmed down a bit from when the initial announcement of the fuel subsidy removal was made.
I would believe so. The beauty about Nigeria and Nigerians is that we are so quick to adapt. We're creative and innovative with finding solutions fast. So the first weekend was a big talk. People were not really going out. Everybody was worried. But now, making it work. So.
All right, that's great. If you'd like to call in and make your contributions, you can call us or send us a WhatsApp message on 0818 22 22 205. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Midday with Mena on Citizen FM 93.7, and we are still discussing the effects of the removal of fuel subsidy across board, how it's affecting everybody, how we all feel about it, and what has happened so far. Deborah,
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How was it getting to work today?
It was regular actually. It was pretty normal compared to last week because I've already said it before, but it was crazy because one day we were going to work 300 naira and then the next morning it was 600 and this one, the man was not even, he just said it and threw his face like we offended him or we did something bad. So at first I would say everyone took it as, oh my god, what's going on? But I think like she said, Nigerians are very quick to adapt because now it was, like I said, it was regular. It was like, okay,
that's
now
our
we pay
superpower.
600. Yeah.
Adaptation.
Yes, we're very fast.
All right, Uche, as a manager and an employer of labor, how have your staff been able to cope amidst the fuel price hike that has happened as a result of the subsidy removal?
Wow. So this fuel subsidy removal came at a very tricky point for us because we were at the Lungi market before and they expelled us from there and crushed the place. they demolished the place. So we're just in the middle of moving to our new space, and then the fuel subsidy came about. So we had to have both operational and structural changes. We have to have a routine now. Everybody doesn't come every day. And also provide a living quarters for our tailors and shoemakers and operational managers, because sometimes they come from places such as Suleja, Lube, Maraba. So when they come, spending double the initial transportation, it doesn't make sense sometimes to still leave and they don't finish maybe past 6, 7 and go and come early again the next day.
Nah.
So some of them we now have to create a living quarters there in our workspace where they can sleep over, and in the morning they get ready and work, and then maybe they work 4 days a week, and then they go spend 2 days at home, and then they come back the next week. So this is how we have been managing, and also we are yet to even implement an increase in their weekly transportation fare. So because we also haven't included an increase in our operations and in our prices yet. So while we're still planning and strategizing on that, we just created a living space. So that has been our major key and one of the major instruments that we've used to curb the cost of transportation and staff. And the whole fact that they already stay means that once in a while, at least, if they need this 1 meal a day, just to subsidize, to substitute and make it easy for them to work. So these are all the burdens we've had to carry to make it a conducive work environment for our staff.
All right. Apart from that, what are some things that you've been able to put in place that has helped with managing the staff better and your establishment as a whole that others can learn from?
Okay. With my staff, I do a very open-door policy approach of leadership, right? I try to bring out the best in everyone. I give them responsibilities, and I don't micromanage. I just correct. I correct with professionalism, and then I allow them manage one another. We have a work appraisal system where everybody has a quota for the quarter, and after the quarter we review if everyone met their quotas, so that we're sure that the value we're giving is the value they're also bringing, and that the system can remain a growing concern. And what else?
Okay, from your open door policy, what have your staff told you about how the fuel hike has affected them personally, and have you lost any staff as a result?
I haven't lost any staff. If anything, I have more staff people trying to come work with us. I'm sure they go and tell them that, I get where they live, like today, Tuesday. And then you get them calling me that, I feel so. I didn't make shoes. I think I'll work for you. But we can't take on more people now until we stabilize at least. Even it affected us badly to the extent that the times when the rain just became heavy and there was no light, we didn't have enough fuel. We used to spend 8,000 initially buying fuel for daily use.
8,000 naira
initially,
for daily, yeah.
But now it's 24,000 naira that we spend on fuel daily. So I haven't lost any of them. They haven't complained per se because of the immediate action that we took.
That you took. Please, can you run us through those actions again, and let's be clear?
Okay, so I provided them accommodation. So if they have to stay over, there's somewhere to stay. They don't need to spend that extra transportation going to and fro, right? We give 1 meal a day, not every day, but at least in a week, they get fed up to 3 times.
Okay.
And then there's a roster, so everybody doesn't need to come at the same time now. So unless we have a collection building that we're working on, maybe sending our fashion runway shows, for now we just work in rotation. So I can have the regular corporate tailor in today and the repair tailor in, and then leave the corset tailors and the couture tailors to come at a time when there are orders for them to work on. So is now mostly a need-based approach.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. So providing accommodation, feeding, and then making it not a necessity to be at work every single day.
Yeah, great. Yeah. All right. That's very, very wonderful. It sounds like you have actually helped cushion the effects of this new reality for your staff, which is a good thing, which is what we are encouraging everybody out there to try and do. Deborah, okay, so we all know that, that this subsidy scheme has not been the best thing for Nigeria. It seemed like it was just a path through which money was just flowing out, leaking from Nigeria's pockets. Even the president said, see, this scheme is something that is making the rich richer, and the poor are just getting poorer and continually suffering. What's your take on the whole subsidy removal idea, from the good side, the bad side?
Okay, so the first thing I think everyone needs to understand is that this subsidy had to be removed. It was going to be inevitably. It wasn't everybody's what do you call them? It wasn't everybody's campaign. They all said it.
Yeah,
they all said they were going to remove it.
The president's in the budget for this year only made provisions for fuel subsidy until the end of June.
Yeah, he was going to remove. So it was something that was inevitable. But I personally felt like it was too early for him to. I mean, it was your first day.
Do you have any issues with the way also it was put out there?
Yes, I also have issues because it was something that came in because it came in on his first day, and also felt like a joke. It was something that I won't say we took very seriously because we didn't even see the effects that day. We saw it I'll say 2 or 3 days later. It was on Wednesday. Yeah, I think about Wednesday. That's when we saw the effects full hand and oh. Wait, this wasn't a joke. This is real.
So it's probably you Gen Zs that thought it was a joke.
No, I would say it's us that thought it was a joke. Probably because we didn't see the effects immediately. So it was okay, he just said something in passing.
And I feel like the Gen Z generation. Yeah. I mean, I'm part of that generation, but I feel like I read a lot. I have my family in political scenes, so I make it a point of duty to read a lot and know about things. So, but I feel like a lot of people in our generation had no clue about what this was.
Yeah,
I mean,
they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. There are people online asking, explain subsidy removal to me like I'm a 5-year-old. I mean, subsidy is already self-explanatory. It was a payment made, to cushion the effect of higher payment. So it reduces the purchasing price for us here. But yesterday I did history as to how subsidy payment about, and it was actually, there was an energy crisis back, I think in the 1970s or something, and they were like, you know what, and the price, just like now we're experiencing an energy crisis too because of Ukraine. The prices of things went up, and Nigeria decided, you know what, our people are not going to suffer this, we're going to pay a bit to cushion the effect. But as time went by, the prices kept going up. The volume in which they imported, we consumed, kept going up too, and it started being a cause to worry about. Something that, helped us started being something that was weighing us down. I think we got to a point where we could not sustain it anymore.
Yeah. And it's showing. It was showing anyway. In fact, I think it's still showing. What am I saying? It's still showing. But I would personally say it's not a bad thing that it has been removed, because like you said, Nigerians are very adaptable. We are able to adapt quickly, and if this is something that is gone, I feel like over time we would learn to live with it. Maybe not everybody, but most of us would learn to live with it.
But we are expecting that things will get better, because we have 3 refineries that need to be worked on, and once they are worked on, we are good to go. Like, the collective capacity in which these refineries will be refining product is more than enough for all of us.
It's about time.
Yeah,
it's about time.
It's a big question as to why these refineries were left undone.
You know, until you began to mention them here, I had no idea we even had refineries. In my mind, the first refinery we had was Dangote's own, which just came when.
We do have other ones. And it was also my first time yesterday knowing that collectively, these 3 refineries could produce more than what collectively, more at full capacity, more than what we are consuming. Uche, are you still there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
When I'm very averse to the energy sector. I served in the energy sector at the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company, to be precise, and I didn't agree with a lot of things. Maybe because of my sentimental personality and the kind of value I probably attached to the operational systems of business operation, but I felt like the whole setup of the energy sector came from one person's intention to make a lot of money without really thinking about the full picture. Because while we're companies in a place like Nigeria, where our technology is just still being developed, being signed on take or pay basis of power purchase agreements, where whether or not the energy they produce are being taken by the transmission company or not, they get paid for it. It's not used. Ooh. Yes. So I remember then that the establishment was in the process of reforming that take or pay system into an energy based only. Only the energy that is being put on the grid should be paid for.
Yeah.
I haven't actually followed up, honestly. I just have been focused on my business. It concerns me, but I have more to do in my own part than to try and be solving the problems of the energy sector. They pay them well enough to get their problems solved.
They do. Thank you very much for that insightful view. And Uche, personally, like as a business aside, raw and unfiltered, how has this affected you and your family? I know you're a businesswoman. A lot of your funds go to your business. You have a family too, you know.
My mental health was in a vegetative state. I literally just, at some point, I had to just sit back and, take a few hours alone for myself to make some executive decisions, make some lifestyle changes, like abruptly, because it's happening on the go and you don't have that time
to pause
and wait. Yes, you just keep getting it done. So last week, at some point, because you know how there's an operational budget, you know that this week we're spending 100K between fuel, the daily materials and whatnot. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But it was not like only one thing was taking the entire budget for the entire operation.
Fuel.
So you just sit there, the price of units went up for life. The tariff went up.
Yeah.
It's now 66 naira a unit, if I'm correct, or 44 naira. I can't remember which one they're on now. And so between not giving us life for units we've already purchased and having to buy fuel at 4 times the price.
At the same time. That must have been a huge blow. I mean, you have your money tied down with units that you can't use because there's no electricity coming on, and then
you have to deliver orders that you're giving out at prices of the old system, and you're giving out at the old prices, at the old calculations of okay, this is our cost, and then this is the profit. You have to be still managing to deliver those orders on that price, and then. In fact, it was a little bit of a mess because even the delivery guys, like Ma, it's 3.5 now. We're not taking 1K, we're not taking 1.5. It's 2K, 3.5, depending on where we're going.
How much petrol is there?
I didn't even know how to call my client and say, sir, please, the 1.5 you gave me is not going to cut it for this delivery. And some clients, you don't even want to have that kind of conversation because they're like family.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'll bear the brunt. I'll take the 1.5 they've paid. I'll match it up with split it. I'll pay for the full price.
You subsidize it.
I just believe it. I just breathed yesterday. And I was like, okay.
God. So basically, what most people are now
this.
trying to do is, what most employers, it seems like they're trying to do is subsidize the living cost for their staff at this point in any way they can. Deborah, are you getting any palliatives or incentives from anywhere at all this period?
No.
Oh, are you serious?
No.
Oh wow.
I'm being very serious. No.
So personally, how have you been managing yourself?
Thank God for parents.
Okay, no, that's one part. That's why I said, have you been receiving any?
Yeah, I would say
so
that
many people,
anyone who's thinking of moving out of their parents' house, this is not the right time.
I heard this. I saw this on social media.
This is even like me seeing it anywhere. I'm just telling you, this isn't the right time to leave your parents' house because the cost of living is now high. Just allow them to still baby you.
Cost of living, one kid living.
Cost of living, one kid. No. We are overcomers in Nigeria. If there's one thing we're good at is adapting. There's something that I've actually noticed as well, which is the fact that there are fewer cars on the road, but it seems like now they've picked up more now. But it seems like all through the past week, since after the announcement, there were fewer cars on the road. Did you notice that, Uche? Oh, we lost her there. Deborah, did you notice that there are less cars on the road?
Yeah, I actually did, because even today, the person that usually my mom and I join to work.
Yeah.
We pay, of course, but
nice.
There's a timing. There's a particular timing, and we missed the timing today. So we got out late, and we're like, oh, we might not see. And we saw him, so we're like, oh, you're still driving. He was like, yeah. But he is no longer going our route now. He goes to Beggar and places like that. Yeah, but he still took us.
Nice.
But I'm just saying, there's less transport now. Even the people usually go with, they are not taking their cars anymore. They are now taking transport themselves.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Which is another sector a lot of people feel that the government should also step up in the energy sector. Yesterday, my guest talked about compressed gas, or and another kind of fuel that could be used is a lot cheaper than PMS. So he talked about that. He talked about the government bringing up those kind of things, and also bringing in more public transport that can take more people as well, so that people can now use this and not solely depend on their cars and everything. Good morning. I have on the phone with me today Midday with Mena.
Thank you.
All right. So just real quick, I wanted to ask you a few questions about the recent removal of fuel subsidy and how it has affected you and your